Yes, I hear your background has this, has that. Your background is not you. Your background should not tie your back to the ground.
So how did you handle it?
What you cannot change, you do not bother about.
Hello and welcome to ThoughtWithTee. If you have not watched before, my name is Oluwatoyin, and we have with us Miss Adeyemi. She is a young people's coach. Welcome, Miss Adeyemi. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Today we want to talk about how we can deal with our insecurities. Today we want to just learn how we can handle, how we can deal with our insecurities. So we will start from insecurities that come from rejection, failure, or negative experiences from our past.
But I'll start by saying that every form of insecurity, whatever be its source, is a feeling. It's hinged on a feeling. So insecurity is a feeling of something, either doubt, fear, anxiety. Now let's say that it's not every feeling that we have that we act on. So the question is, what happened? What did you not do right? What was the reason why you were not accepted?
So are you trying to say that when we do experience rejection, in order to handle it and it does not go to insecurity, that means we should not focus on the feeling we have from that rejection, but instead we should focus on why was I rejected? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, yes. So most times people face rejection. Go ahead to begin to think, dwell on it, feel low. What did I do wrong? I'm not good enough. It things like that. And then it further dampens them. You need to try again, better, go back, work, and come back. And sometimes rejection may not be even about you. The cause of the rejection could dwell on the person that rejected you. Yes. So in that case, you just look for a better place and try again. When we're able to articulate all of that, we can never fall into insecurity through rejection.
Thank you so much, Ma. You have really broken this down. Okay, let's go to the next one. So sometimes persons feel insecure because of some physical attributes that they have that they can also see this physical attribute. They know it is there. And sometimes they themselves perceive it in some kind of way. Sometimes it's not even them. Sometimes it's other people around. How do we deal with insecurity that comes from something like this?
All right, so I'm going to use my story, myself, an example to this. Now, I'm going to show you this. Can you see my teeth? Can you see this side tooth, gap tooth?
Yes, gap tooth that is side. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
This was a problem for me growing up. I can say this now because I now understand and I have walked out of that insecurity. So then I would not smile with my mouth open because I felt my teeth wasn't fine. So I closed my mouth. Whatever is happening, don't smile out. I just imagine my nice smile now and you would
never like us to experience this smile. That's okay.
Oh my goodness. Another thing was the fact that I stutter sometimes. And I began to feel that since I stutter, I cannot stop. So I avoided debates. I avoided representing my class, quiz, presentation in schools. I avoided it because I felt I can't do it because I stutter at times. But now look at me. I'm a teacher trainer. I speak for a living. I coach youth. I coach people on mental health and well-being.
So how did you handle it?
What you cannot change, you do not bother about. You spoke about rejection. You can address that, right? But these physical outlooks or appearances or something about your physique that you can do nothing about. Don't bother. Some people can never get slim and they're so bothered about their weight. Nothing you can do about it. Be comfortable in your skin. It is you. That's who you are. The person that is slim is not slim because she chooses to be slim. She has it. She's able to be slim. My eyes is not white or your eyes is white. That's you. This is me. It adds to my uniqueness. So accepting yourself and being comfortable in your skin and do not allow anybody to talk you down. You have flat nose. Oh, thank you. It's beautiful.
So for someone that has lived with an insecurity based off of a physical attribute for so long, what practical steps can this person take to start changing the way they see themselves?
This is simply the mind. You fed your mind with some information. Other people have fed your mind with some information in form of comments, negative criticism and all of that. And it has informed your mind to think that your being short is a problem, a disadvantage, it's negative. No, your being short is you. Accept it that way. Nobody is perfect in themselves. Nobody has it all together. Everybody has something or the other that they wish they had. We are not all made perfect. We are made to be good. Do you understand me? When God saw creation, he said, this is a good one.
It's good.
And the truth
God
is that
saw that it was good.
Exactly. Whatever you see yourself as, that is the perfect you. Do you understand that? Like that. So the issue is that there is a mindset formed about what is perfect, the ideal, what should be. No, it's wrong because nobody made anybody. So there's nothing ideal. You are the ideal you. You are the perfect you. Understand that. Change those things in your mind. Positive thought process, crush your inner critic, that thing inside you telling you you're not enough, this thing is disadvantage to you, this thing will hinder you, this thing is not good enough for you. No, crush it. Speak back to the inner critic and tell yourself, no, I am perfect like this. My nose, my eyes, my teeth, my lip is a perfect size to make me beautiful where I am.
Thank you, Ma. Okay, insecurity based off of like the background that we have come from. Maybe, for example, our economic background, family background, whatsoever background of bringing that we have that does not affect our psyche or the way we see ourselves. How can we deal with insecurity that has come from this?
Okay, this is very unique because every child goes through a particular upbringing, background, and all of that. So it is said that train up a child the way he should grow. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that's why we say that education is a major influence in a nation. Because whatever you train that child to be, it's going to form the core of the nation eventually. So coming back to the upbringing, the background, the training the child receives is one. The criticism the child is exposed to, harshness the child is exposed to, the attachment, the acceptance from the parent, and then social status. I know of someone that schooled in a state university in one of the Western states, and that was a major problem for him. Because he felt he was not a graduate of a federal university in Nigeria. But then there are other people that feel that they are inferior because they're not graduates of international university. So if we go on and on with these things, we would never be enough. So the point is, what do you have? Yes, I hear your background has this, has that. Your background is not you. Your background should not tie your back to the ground. I'll say that again. Do not allow your background to tie you down to the ground. So your background is just a level. Now you build on it. Oh, yes, I didn't go to a good school when I was growing up. I hear you. Now, what do you do with what you have? Leverage, build, and go on. And even if you're not able to build fast, do not let that hinder you, tie you down. So it's one thing to begin to think, it's all in our minds, a feeling. It's one thing to begin to think that will limit you, that will stop you. That person right now, he's doing more than what many federal university students, even many international graduates, he's doing better than them as we speak. So if he had stayed back in that insecurity of, oh, I didn't have a good background educationally, he would never have, leveraged and made what he has been today. So what I say to you today is, whatever be your background, whatever be your bringing, whatever be what your exposures and experiences, do not stop there. Do not look at it as a limit. Look at it as an access to that future that you want for yourself. Change that thought process. Change that mindset and help yourself to pick up and run
Thank
fast.
you, Ma. What one of my friends would say, OPP, OPP, OPP. So if I'm to put this in summary, it would be our backgrounds should not define us. At the end of the day, it's what we do with what we have as our background that actually matters. How do we build on it? What we make out of it, not what it is. So what it is was what was given to us, but what do we do with it? How do we build it? So we don't let our background define us, but instead we build on it and we decide who we are going to be. Thank you so much, Ma. Okay, I think the well, not lastly, but we'll just go to this next one, which is that some of us actually have quote unquote inabilities, like things that we can't do or things that we're really no good at them. Sometimes some of us is like we have weaknesses, and because we have these weaknesses or things we cannot do, that it becomes obvious to other people. They now use it to maybe label us or maybe look at us in a kind of way, talk about us in a kind of way, or even we ourselves recognize that maybe we are different from other people in that we can't do this thing that other people are doing. So how can we deal with insecurity from these kind of things?
Our weaknesses or our inabilities do not define us. No, they do not.
But this is who you are, actually. How can you say it doesn't define you?
I'd like to come from the other angle. What are your strengths?
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that you should use your strength as a supplement or a cover for your weakness. No. I'm saying that your strengths are there because they're your strongest points. So project your strength. Work on your weaknesses. When you work on your weaknesses, they become strengths over time. Yes. I used to stutter. I said that before. And I still do sometimes. But I've now understood that weakness or that inability. I've now understood that when this thing comes, it happens when I begin to talk so fast and words begin to rush. When I see myself trying to stutter, I take a pause, a break, and I speak again. Sometimes I slow down. You can see I did that just now. I slow down and I pick my words, or I change the thought process. I say something else and go back to it. I could laugh because I've now understood that weakness and I've worked on it. It wasn't easy, but I had to do it for myself. Because I realized that I'm a person that's going to speak to people. And if I'm to speak to people and I see my speech as a weakness, then I would never achieve my purpose in life. So I had to rise up from that and tell myself, Messiah, you thought that yes, but you will still speak and make impact by speaking to people. I take sessions, training fast. I facilitate trainings of hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, and I'm that girl that stutters. And it doesn't hinder my sessions because I've come to understand who I am. And I've come to understand that weakness. And I've worked on that weakness. So this is it. Work on your weakness. Now, maybe people will be tempted to try to cover it up instead of working on it. Cover it up. Bury it. But it keeps on hurting you, haunting you. It keeps pulling you down. So don't do that to yourself. Deal with it. Identify it. And tell yourself, yes, this thing is there. Now, what do I do about this thing? Remember that it's the mind. And once you can feed the mind the right information, when you have understood it and you have given your mind the right information to deal with it, when it comes, you control it. It could be anger. That's your weakness. You understand what triggers you. You understand when those triggers become explosive. And you now understand what you can do when your triggers are there. So once you've given yourself that information, you've informed your mind with respect to your weakness, then it's easy for you to handle that weakness, whatever that weakness.
Thank you. So in this particular situation, what we're going to say is, the summary is, our weaknesses or inabilities do not define us. Everyone has weaknesses. Everyone has strength. My weakness may be your strength may be my weakness. However, I improve on I project my strengths, and what is my weakness? I recognize it and I work on it to make it also a strength. But I do not allow myself.
Also, remember that no one is perfect. That thing you look at in someone and say, that person is perfect. They are just right fit. I can't stand beside this person. Yes, the person may have that, but it's something you have that could make you look like that. So yes, the person has something you don't have. You have something the person does not have.
Doesn't have.
You may not know it. The person may hide it. And you may know it, but you don't even recognize it because you have looked at that person as perfect. Now, no one is perfect. Everybody has a strength or strengths and weaknesses. So when you understand that, you will see that your weakness is not negative. Your weakness is not a problem, rather. Your weakness is just an area of improvement and development.
Thank you so much. I would say that from this whole conversation, what has really stood out for me is two things. The first one would be that insecurity is a feeling. It's premised on a feeling. It's premised on perception. And in all cases, the route to changing it is changing how you see that situation. And second, know who you are. Recognize who you are. Accept who you are. Don't let someone else be the person to tell you who you are or deliver to who you are. No. Be conscious of your strengths. Be conscious of your weaknesses. Be conscious of your physical attributes. Recognize them. Accept them. Know who you are. So when someone brings it to you, you're not surprised. It doesn't make you start feeling bad. No. Know who you are. Recognize who you are. Accept who you are. Improve on the negative part. The ones you cannot change, accept it. Thank you so very much for blessing us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me today.
Yes, we have enjoyed your company. Please follow her on LinkedIn and follow her on Instagram. I think she's also on Facebook. Follow her on these platforms, and she, from time to time, she's always giving blessings. Till I come your way again on Thoughts with Tea. My name is Oluwatoyin. Bye.